Hi everyone, this is Liz from Creative Life of Liz, and I'm here planning for the week of January 12th through the 18th. This is in my B&R Paper Crafts Plan B planner, and this week I'm also using a kit from B&R Paper Crafts. This is called Bliss Garden, and as you can see, I'm missing a bunch of full boxes. That's because this is a deluxe kit that I'm going to use for the second time, so I've used up some of it already, obviously. But as you can see, I have some full boxes here. I have glitter headers and functional things. Washi strips and some other functional stuff, more functional things, 3 more full boxes, and functionals over here on the side. This does overlap on the dates, so I won't be using the date dots. Full box checklists, a little half box and some little boxes, and some glittery boxes here. So my plan, we're gonna make this work. So I have 5 full boxes, and then I have 4 like washi strip situations. So I'm going to use 3 of these as full boxes essentially. So my plan, I think I want to use, so I think I'm going to use these silver ones as the extras. So my plan is to stick down these 3 sets of headers. And I think I'm going to do it, maybe I'll just do them in the order that they are. And then I am going to also, while I'm at it, put down the full box checklists and probably the weekend banner. Might as well throw that in while I'm at it as well. And then I'm also going to deal with the washies. So I did pull in some extra washi. This one I got as a gift. I believe it's probably from like Meyer from several years ago. And then this one is a really old one I have from Michaels. I'm kind of hoping I finish up this gray one. We're gonna see how that goes, but those are gonna be the bottom washi. And then I have a Mean Show fine liner pen in this kind of blue-gray color that I'm gonna use for the dates on the top. So my plan is to stick in all of this stuff that I've just talked you through, and then we can talk about boxes when I come back. All right, here is where we are at so far with the pre-planning. It's starting to look cute for sure. So let's move into the full boxes. So I've got 3 here. I've got 2 here, and then I have all these washies. Okay, so how we're gonna do this is 3 of these are going to become full boxes. And then I'm going to end up with 1 leftover. I think I'm going to use the yarn as my leftover, especially because I do still have the full yarn box. And I also over here have a half yarn box. So I think that's going to be my leftover. So these 3 are going to be, I think I'm going to do it as Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday here. So how I do these is I just cut right down the sides where each of the washi strips is already cut, basically just giving the little dividers, getting them attached to the washi strips rather than having them be left behind when I pick up any of these washi strips. I don't know why I always insist on cutting on my planner page. That's a terrible idea, but yet I do it every single time and I never learn. So just cut like that. And then my plan is to use these guys to kind of fill in the empty space. So these will actually be a little bit more filled in than the full boxes because those tend to be just a hair short of the full height of these boxes, but it's close enough. I don't think it's going to be an issue. So I stick them in here like so. that is like not at all straight. Or the top header is not straight. Both are honestly possible. But I'm going to operate under the assumption that I made the last header straight. That's good enough. All right. So I do need 6 of these headers to be able to do these 3 boxes. So I'm only going to have 1 glitter header left, which I will just use at some point during the week so that I don't have anything left over from that particular part, because it's just like 1 glitter header is not that helpful to me. All right, so when I do this, I just peel up. I'm going to just start it like this. So you can kind of see that to get to the height up here, from here to here, I need to cover just like a little bit of this guy. So I just ballpark how much of it to cover and don't stress about it too much. Now that I've pulled up the next one, I've pulled up that little skinny strip in between the washi strips as well. So that's like the key, is to make sure that you pull those up together. Technically you can reassemble it, but man, is it a lot of work then. So there's that one. And then here's this one. Hopefully I didn't overlap too much. All right, there we go. So it ends up pretty much just even with this top one. Totally fine. Okay, so the plan is, again, I'm going to do just a little overlap down here and then kind of just hope it works out as I work my way up. If it's not perfect, by the time I filled everything in for the week, I don't think it's going to be a problem. Pulling up those little extra washi, the little divider guys, is sometimes a little tricky. Sometimes I switch which end I'm pulling from to try to get them to pull more cleanly. You can see that one's not perfect, but I kind of just push it back into place. This one I got all 4 of these together, which is awesome. Oh no, this top one wants to let go. It's fine, I will just put this last one back in on its own. All right, there we go. That's 2 down, 1 to go. So again, just this like little overlap. Hopefully that's the right amount. And then I just pick up whatever I can at the same time. So sometimes I can get a couple of the sections together, or sometimes like a couple of the little dividers with a single washi strip. Usually it ends up being that I pull like 1 at a time. So this one I got 2 of the dividers with 1 washi strip. So now I just have this little top bit to go. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good actually. You can see there's just these little bits around here. That's all just left, and then this one will be used as washi strips at some point later. This page I don't need anymore either. That's going out of the way. So now I have 5 full boxes left to fill in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. So I think these 2 for sure go together. And then I kind of feel like these 2 go together. So then I'm going to put this one as my quote box. Seems a little strange to have as a quote box, but I think once everything's filled in, it's going to work. If I find it's still too plain at the end of the week, I can always pull something in from my stash at that point. I think I'm going to stick these 2 that are like cozy vibes on the outside. So you can see there's just a tiny gap at the top of the and bottom of actual boxes when I lay them down in this planner. So it technically doesn't quite 100% match where I like shoved the glitter washi all the way to the top and bottom, but I don't think that's a problem. I think the difference is not going to bother me for sure. It's just really a small gap. That one barely got any. It's all in how I align the glitter headers and how perfectly I do. All right, so there we go. That's all the full boxes now. And then this page, totally done. Okay, I just threw that one on the floor. Whatever. Moving on to the sidebar. I do have some functional things, a box, some headers, some different headers, full box checklist. I don't think I need anything from these two. Okay. So I'm going to start out, I think, with this header that says this week. Seems appropriate. And then I am going to pull in my habit tracker. This is going to track socials. I'm not going to bother writing that down. I'll just know, and I think that's fine. Next up, I have buy, work, happy meal next week, work, cleaning, family, little things. Oh, maybe I do need one of these. Yeah, I'm going to use a today header, I think. And that's just going to be so that I can add in my meal tracker, which is going to be this full box checklist that I still have left. There we go. That's another page done. Didn't throw that one on the floor, so that was more successful. I'm then going to take this other glitter header that I had left, and then I'm going to put in this half box, like decorative half box. It's the same as the top box, but it's not really going to bother me, I don't think. I think cozy vibes are cozy vibes, and that's what's most important. And then I do still have this little bit of space left, so I could use some more washi. I could try to stick in like a half box. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, do I want like work, cleaning, family? Maybe I'll use this one that says cleaning. There we go. And then I'm just going to use this tiny little checklist, which is like 3 little things on it. That'll cover what I need to cover for cleaning. All right, that's looking actually pretty cute. All right, moving on to the weekdays. I always use these little boxes here for work, so I'm just going to continue to do that. So I just leave a little space between it and the top header. I did leave a, I did put the top headers like above the last line, just giving myself an extra 1/8 of an inch or so, which is pretty much how much gap I leave here. Another page done. I do still have a couple of these skinny ones, which I will use on the other page. I do also want to put in the take out garbage. So now we have to do like little surgery on the sticker, like I have done sometimes during 2025 with these. Let me see if I can get it to come apart properly. So what I end up doing is I try to make it so that the garbage part comes out, and then I try to line it up so that it says take out roughly centered over here, and then I overlap the garbage part just a little bit as well. And that turns out pretty cute, I think. Moving on to Tuesday, I do have curling. I only have curling once this week. It's gonna be a late game because I seem to always have late games. Lately at least, not my fave. Okay, I thought I had another page of boxes, but I do not. So we're just gonna have to make do with some of these boxes that I have, which is fine. I don't need another box, but I wanted to use something like a little bigger than these guys. But I suppose that's technically not a requirement. I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to stick it right here. And then I'm going to use one of these dumbbells. Again, I know they're not curling rocks, but they kind of look like curling rocks. So that's what I'm going to use. Perfect. Monday otherwise, Tuesday otherwise. Ooh, Monday I actually do have something. I am a mess, you guys. So I am going to put in maybe I'll use this one. This little thing. This is for my Plan With Me. That's gonna go up. There we go. Now we're good. Then we move on to Wednesday, where other than work, I do expect to have a movie night with friends. Could get canceled, could get rescheduled, but we're gonna plan on it. So I'm gonna stick that in for that one. And I think that's the first half of the week. All right, now for realties. Moving on to the second half of the week. I need to stick in 2 more of these little guys for work. I think I want to use the blue one because I feel like I want to use as much blue as possible since it is a winter spread, and January is blue in my mind. Does anyone else have colors for each month in your mind? I can set this page aside because it only has date dots left, so I don't need that anymore. All right, so Thursday, no curling. There's a tournament happening. And then Friday, I'm going to post a video. I believe this is going to be my February kits. I don't know, by the time you see this video, that'll be up, so you'll be able to see whatever it is. So please check that out. And then lastly, the other thing I have left is for Saturday. And I think I'm gonna use, maybe we'll use this size box. So we have a concert that we are going to. It's a concert orchestra doing like Pop's concert. It should be really fun. So I'm gonna stick in the little heart like so. So I do still have a decent amount of stuff left, and I'll probably use these little washi strips kind of like boxes. We'll see how that goes. But this is where we are at with the pre-planning, and I think it's looking pretty good. So stick around for just a second and you can see the finished spread. All right, here is the finished spread. I think it turned out so cute, definitely fun for winter, very calming vibes. I don't have a ton left in the kit. I have a few little bits here, a couple of headers and some little boxes, a few more boxes, some functional stuff here, some date dots, and then the rest of this is pages that are done and are going to go away. I'll keep these pages together for now, but they're probably just gonna go in my leftovers separately since there's so little left at this point. But definitely very excited. I think that the spread turned out super cute. It's really just stuff from the kit, except the I Buy M fine liner at the top and the 2 washies at the bottom. The top one might be from Meyer. I got it as a gift a long time ago. And the bottom one is from Michael's, also from several years ago. But it was a super busy week. Some ups and downs for sure. Had a really nice concert that we went to on Saturday night, and had a pretty relaxing weekend. So I think overall a pretty good week. So as always, please like and subscribe below if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Let me know what you had planned this week, how your week went, or if you don't have anything that you want to leave me an ice skate just to say hi. I would love to hear from you. And then follow me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Creative Life of Liz. You can see in progress and finished spreads, as well as bits and pieces of my life, what I'm reading, all that good stuff. And until next time, bye.